Hey, what's going on, guys? Pineapple's Waves. I'm bringing you guys another Marvel Rivals Season 2 tier list because these videos seem to do pretty well. So if you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. I've made a tier list for Season 0 and Season 1. Last season, you guys gave me a lot of crap because, I was in Diamond, but I would say, fortunately, I was able to hit Celestial in Season 1.5, and now I'm currently sitting at Plat 2. And you can say that I've lost all credibility because I am on console. So I'm going to be ranking this from like a console basis. PC is a totally different ballgame, and I can play the game on PC, and I do plan on eventually moving to PC and playing it. But for now, this is just my thoughts and opinion on this season, and like I said, from a console player perspective. Starting with Adam Warlock. Warlock is just, I don't really see him get picked anymore. And there's just a lot of better healers that can do what he can do, in my opinion. Last season he was really annoying to deal with, but he does have a good ult, in my opinion. But I think just from what I've seen and what he's able to do, like, they've really nerfed the crap out of him. I don't know the exact nerfs that have been brought on him, but I would slap him in C tier as of right now. Next is Black Panther. Once again, it's like, on console at least, it's like you never really see a good Black Panther. PC, I've seen a lot of good Black Panther players, but Panther on console, it's like it just feels like a throw pick. Like if someone picks Panther on console, you're just not really going to see anything productive. But once in a blue moon, when you do get a good one, he can be really good and really effective. I still think his ultimate needs a serious buff or a rework, because there's some scenarios I've seen where his ultimate just does no damage whatsoever, and I don't really understand that. So we're gonna put him in B tier. Widow, I mean, there's not really much I need to say. I hope she just needs an entire rework. So she goes to D tier. Although it is fun to play with Widow from time to time, but she's kind of more like a troll character. Although I will say respectfully, like on PC, I have seen some amazing players with Widow. Next is Hulk. Hulk, I really don't know where to put him. I mean, it really depends. I think he's between S and A. He just gets banned a lot, so I feel like you'll never really get a lot of value out of him. In my opinion, he has amazing synergies with Iron Man and Namor, but it doesn't really help him. It really helps Iron Man and Namor. It makes them a lot better, but Namor and Iron Man are also just good in their own right, but Hulk does help. But since he gets banned a lot, you're never really going to see him, in my opinion. But, he has a good ultimate that can, stall some time for you to get to the point or whatever you're playing. And he's a fun character. And next is Captain America. Captain America isn't my main, but I've been trying to learn him and play him, and he's a lot of fun. But honestly, I would have to put him, I don't know, he's like between A and B tier for me. Like, I don't want to put him in A tier and get crap from people, so I'm just gonna put him in B tier. Very annoying to deal with if you're playing a good Captain America. I mean, he's basically impossible to kill and can cheat death like no other character in the game. And he has a really good utility, like when you're trying to take out healers. Like if you go to take out healers, especially Sue Storm, you can throw his shield, and if she's invisible, and it'll track her and hit her. So that's pretty useful. And his ultimate is one of the most useful ultimates and unique ultimates in the game, and really just helps to stall time and just be like annoying. He's kind of like a cockroach, in my opinion. That's really the best way to describe him. Next is Cloak and Dagger. I think on my last tier list, I had all of like the supports on S tier because supports have just been absolutely insane. But a lot of them have received nerfs, and that is being Cloak and Dagger. I think Cloak and Dagger, she used to be they used to be one of the best healers in the game, but now they're just kind of whatever. I think there's a lot better healers and supports in the game, although Cloak and Dagger still has a really good, Cloak has a really good, utility with being able to track and just kill anybody with the freaking laser that he has. Next is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was S tier for me, but this season I would have to put him at B tier. He just doesn't really seem to be used a lot anymore, and I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe someone can explain why he just doesn't really get used. Last season, season 0 and season 1, it felt like he was getting picked all the time, but now you rarely see him. And now moving on to another tank is Groot. Groot is S tier. A good Groot can really change the perspective and just the overall momentum of a game. He is absolutely insane, in my opinion. And he's a character that I ban a lot, or try to get my teammates to ban a lot, just because of how tedious and annoying he is. Especially too, like, just being able to protect your teammates, and his ultimate is very annoying. And when you pair it up with other ultimates, like you can pair up his ultimate with Moon Knight's ultimate, it's very, very good. and that's why he deserves the first S tier on the list. Next is Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I'm gonna put in B tier. Although, like, people might argue maybe he's a C or D tier character, but this character is really good. If you have a Hawkeye that hits your shots, well, obviously, you got to hit your shots if you want to win fights in Marvel Rivals. But he's really good, in my opinion. I think, he just needs maybe 1 or 2 reworks and maybe a good team up with somebody other than Widow, and then he could be very useful. I know he's getting a team up with Luna Snow, but I have no idea what that's going to bring to the table for Marvel Rivals. But so for now, I put him in the B tier. He's not the best B tier character, but he's definitely up there in my opinion. Next is Hela. Hela's A tier, although I would say on PC she's S tier. But on console we have really crappy aim, so Hela gets A tier for now. But I will say she's really, really good, and her synergy with Thor and Loki is still one of the best synergies in the game. And her ultimate is very tedious and a good way to cheat death. She's very fun to use. I like to use her from time to time. She's more like a situational character for me, but like I think what a lot of players experience on console is that we just don't hit our shots with Hela, so therefore she doesn't get that S tier value in my opinion that you would see like on PC. Next is Iron Fist. I really don't know where I want to put Iron Fist. I'm just gonna put him at the top of B tier. He's a great character, but you rarely see him on console, and I think you rarely see him on PC. He just doesn't really get picked. I'm not sure why, but I have seen some really great Iron Fists, and he can be annoying to deal with, if you're playing against the right team and the right player. Next is Iron Man. Iron Man is good in his own right. He's received a lot of buffs. If he didn't get all the buffs, he'd probably be a B tier character for me, but he's another good situational character that can be really annoying and tedious to deal with. In my opinion, and he's a lot of fun. His ultimate, is really overpowered. When Sue Storm puts up her shield, you can just pop that ultimate and have a good chance at killing Sue and then maybe killing some other teammates in that force field bubble. Next is Jeff the Shark. Jeff, I don't really know. I'm gonna put him in A tier. He's an interesting character, probably the most interesting character on this list, just because of his ultimate ability, just being able to potentially wipe out your entire team just off an ultimate, is just pretty insane in my opinion. Although there are a lot of counters to Jeff, it's going to be interesting to see when he gets his new team up with Venom next season to see where he really stands. But for me, he's not like S tier, but he's between A and B, so we're gonna put him in A. Same thing with Loki. Loki, I'm gonna put at the top of A tier. He's a very good character, and having that utility of being able to steal basically any ultimate and use it for your own is very overpowered. And I've been playing a lot of Loki as well here recently, and he's very, very good. He has an amazing weapon, can really shoot anybody from any range, and he has good utilities like what I've said, and he can heal really well. And being able to kind of stop dive characters with his totems, it's very, very good. But like what I said, I still think that there is a couple better healers on the list. Speaking of another healer is Luna Snow. I'm not exactly sure what happened to her. I felt like she used to get picked all the time and was really, really good. But oh, that's magic. But Luna's just kind of whatever now. She's a B tier character in my opinion. Maybe you can even debate C. She still has a good ultimate, but it can get countered really easily now. Like, I've seen Thor be able to counter her ultimate. Obviously, Magneto's a big one. Iron Man's a big one. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're nerfing her to the ground or what, but obviously you don't really see her get picked anymore. And there seems to just be better supports in the game. But, that's really about it. Next is Magic. Magic is an A tier character for me. If you're playing a good Magic, like, just good luck. You're going to have one of the worst experiences of your life. That's really all I need to say about Magic. A tier character, maybe even arguably an S tier character, in my opinion. Next is Magneto, who last season I would have at S as the best tank, but now we're putting him in B tier. He's kind of just, I don't really want to say useless now, but you don't really see him. Groot and Emma Frost and Thing just kind of take up his responsibility of tank. You see a lot of 3-tank metas this season with Penny, Thing, and then Emma Frost, or just 3-tank metas in general. And, Magneto seems to be that forgotten tank. He's still amazing in my opinion, and he can, counter a lot of ultimates, especially support ultimates, but he's just kind of there. I think there's better options at tank with Groot, Frost, and the Thing and Penny, in my honest opinion. You may agree or disagree with that, but that's just how I feel, especially this season. Then there's Mantis. Mantis is an A tier in my opinion, but she kind of needs like another great support. Like I think a good combination of Sue and Mantis is really unstoppable and really, really good. And Mantis gets her ultimate super, super quickly. Like it's absolutely insane. Great support, A tier in my opinion. Next is Moon Knight. Moon Knight's just kind of, I really don't know. He's just there. B tier character. His ultimate's overpowered. He can get his ultimate really, really fast. But that's about it. He's, obviously he's a DPS. He's going to do a lot of damage. But I feel like for a lot of people, Moon Knight's, people who play Moon Knight seem to not really have like situational awareness. If that makes sense. If that's one way to put it. But let's move on to Namor. Namor, obviously, S tier character. He stops the dive. He stops everything. He's great everywhere. Namor is a must on your team if you don't get him banned. If he doesn't get banned, you gotta pick Namor. Need I say more about Namor? He's insane. Same thing with Penny. Penny is an S tier character. It's just, I know you can throw whatever you want at me, but her mines and just her utility on defense is just absolutely insane, and she can just be an absolute headache to deal with and can just cause a lot of issues and problems for people that are playing against her. Next is Psylocke. Psylocke is B tier, although she has a nice synergy with Emma Frost. I will give her credit for that. But other than that, she's good. She's really great at flanking. She's amazing at flanking. She has a strong ultimate. But, I feel like she just needs something else to improve her kit to move her to like an A or S tier. In my opinion, at least. Some people might say Psylocke might be a little too overpowered, but I think she's between A and B. I think there's better DPSs that have a lot more value than Psylocke, but Psylocke is a lot of fun and a very good character to use. Same thing with Punisher. He's just a B tier character, in my opinion. He can be really, really strong, and he can be really, really overpowered, especially when you team him up with Rocket. But in his own right, he's just kind of useless. He needs that Rocket synergy desperately. So if you're running Rocket and Punisher, it's very, very crucial for Punisher's success. Next is Rocket. Rocket is an S tier healer. I wouldn't be surprised like if people start, moving towards banning Rocket, especially with all he can do. Being able to have a revive and now an ultimate that gives health instead of damage boosting, it just seems a bit too overpowered in my opinion. He's the best healer in the game. Hands down, it is extremely insane what Rocket's able to do. And in all honesty, he's a very easy character to learn. So if you're going into Marvel Rivals new or fresh and you want to play support, play Rocket. Your team is going to benefit from it. You're going to benefit from it. And that's really about it. Like if you have Rocket on your team, your win chance drastically improves, especially if you're playing a team that doesn't have Rocket, because you're able to revive one of your teammates that dies, and you can heal so quickly. And if you shoot his orbs off the ground, it gives double healing points. It's just, you would be stupid not to pick Rocket, in my honest opinion. Next is Scarlet. She's really great at flanking, but that kind of feels like that's it in my opinion. And being able to track and kind of cheat death with some of her utility. But it's just, excuse me. That ultimate is, really, really rough. It's an overpowered ultimate if you get it off, but half the time there's so many counters to it. And normally, you kind of question why someone picks Scarlet, but she's a great flanker in my opinion, and can sneak and kill the backline pretty quickly, which does give her some value. But I just feel like she needs a little bit more. Her and Strange have a great synergy this season, but you rarely see it in my, from what I've played. Next is Spider-Man. I really don't know where to put Spider-Man. I'm going to put him in the B tier. He's a great character. He's the most annoying character to deal with. If you're playing a great Spider-Man, he's going to be really annoying. But he always gets banned because it's kind of the case of you're either going to get a bad Spider-Man and you on your team, and you always get a bad Spider-Man on your team. But then when you face Spider-Man, he's one of the best players you've ever seen in your life, and especially with the one-hit combo with Venom, and just the one-hit combo in general that he has, which I think is getting nerfed. Next on the list is Squirrel Girl. I'm putting her in C tier. Her ultimate is amazing, and for some certain maps, she is an A tier, B tier character. But just in general, she's just kind of, I don't really know, like, she's very good, but she needs to be used, like, strategically, if that makes sense. Obviously, every character, you can argue that they need to be used strategically, but Squirrel Girl is really, really good in certain situations, and in other situations, she can be really, really bad and hurt your team. Next is Star-Lord. I put him in the B tier. Not really much to say about Star-Lord. He's a great ultimate, very easy to get. Much like Moon Knight, just 2 good DPSs, and, you know, that's really about it. Next is Storm. I still think Storm is an A tier character just because of her ability to damage boost your team. I think that's a pretty underrated ability in my opinion. And then with the combination of Human Torch with the 2 flyers, it could be absolutely insane to deal with and can just cause a complete headache for the enemy team. Next is Thor. He goes in the B tier. I feel like he's missing something to be like an S tier character. But I don't really want to say buff him though, because if you play a good Thor, it's going to be a tough time for you and your team. He's a very strong character, but I just feel like you need something minor to push him and elevate him to an A and S tier character. Next is Venom. Kind of the same thing. I actually picked Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is not D tier. Next is Venom. Venom is B tier in my opinion. He's just kind of useless. Without his ability to gain health, he's just kind of useless. He can be a great diver and very annoying and tedious to deal with, but other than that, that's really about it. That's all he has to offer. His ultimate is just kind of weak and doesn't do a whole lot, although I've seen some great combinations if you combine him with the damage boost Luna and Mantis, like, it can be great, but he's a B tier tank. I think Groot, Penny, and Hulk are just kind of clear in the tank department. Next is Wolverine. He's still S tier in my opinion. He still gets banned a lot, and you never really see him get picked, and I'm not entirely sure why. Moving on now to Mr. Fantastic. He was a D tier character, but he moves up to A. He's the best peeler in the game, and he's very annoying and tedious to deal with, especially if you're playing a great Mr. Fantastic. And that moves on to my next point, is, you know, about the Fantastic Four. Almost every team should have Invisible Woman as their support, so combining her skills and synergies with Mr. Fantastic, I mean, it just makes him even better, and it makes Sue Storm even better as well. And then moving on to another tank is the Thing, and combining all 3 of them, you know, it's really good and really great for your team. You know, you run Groot, you could really run Groot, Penny, and Thing as a 3 tank meta, with maybe Mr. Fantastic as a peeler, or even Namor, and then your 2 supports being Rocket and Sue, and you're going to have a fun time, you know, in all honesty. And then there's the Human Torch, as a lot of people like to call him, the Human Vape or something. He was like D tier, C tier, but he moves up to high B tier. He may even be A tier, but he's great. A great character in my opinion. He got a well-deserved buff, and it's cool to see him, you know, now in that rotation in terms of meta. And if you're playing a good Human Torch, it can be one of the most annoying things ever, because he has great utility, but I still feel like he is missing just a little minor thing to make him an A tier and S tier character. And then Emma Frost, obviously she's probably the best character in the game this season. I mean, do I really have to say anything? She can cancel ults with the choke slam. She has the diamond form. Her ultimate is very, very useful in certain situations, and being able to block and shield just different things. I mean, she's the best tank, and, you know, I've seen a lot of 3 tank metas of Emma, Groot, Thing, or Emma, Groot, Penny, Emma, Thing, Penny, like with a Namor. It's impossible to deal with, and it's very annoying. Then there's Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier, I think, is a debatably A tier, but I'm going to put him into B tier. I would put him in A tier, but he lost his synergy with Rocket, which I feel hurts him tremendously, which why I put him into B tier. And I'm not really sure to rank Ultron, but I'm just going to assume, just because Ultron's support, he will probably be an A or S tier level character, in my opinion. And that concludes my Marvel Rivals tier list. Obviously, in Marvel Rivals, play whoever you want to play. Every character offers utility and can be useful in any situation. And at the end of the day, you're just playing to have fun. We're just playing to play with these, this amazing roster of Marvel characters. And, I look forward to see who else they add, and we continue to update tier list to tier list on a seasonal basis. Anyways, though, this is Pineapple Sway. I will see you guys next time. Please consider liking and subscribing. Peace out.